A well-defined collection of objects is called a set. Now, what do you mean by well-defined? They must have certain relation between them, right? For example, before your class 11, did you know Tanisha? Did you know Sumit? Tell
No,
me.
sir.
You did not know.
No, sir.
Then if I were classified you together, you, Sumit and Tanisha, could I call you a set that time? Could I call you a
Mm,
set that time? You had nothing in common, right? Except that you were human beings,
yes,
right?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, but after coming to class 11, you have something in common that you belong to the same class.
Yes, sir.
You are students of class 11, or you are students
Yes,
of
sir.
Marine Co-educational School. So this means that now you form a well-defined collection. What is the definition of your group of these three? The set of three students that you are. What is your definition? That all of you are students of Marine Co-educational School, or all of you are students of class 11, right? So
Yes, sir.
any set that I am, anything that, any set that is there must have a definition, the basic definition. The elements must have something in common to each other. Okay. So this is the definition of sets. Okay. Now, what are the methods of representation of sets? You know, the method of representation. How do you represent sets? Yes. Do you know?
No, sir.
This is all class 8 knowledge. Method of representation.
Uh,
First is roster or tabular form,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Roster and tabular, and another one is a. I
and the
don't
other
recall the
is
name also.
your set builder form,
Yes, set builder.
set builder, or sometimes also called the rule form. Okay. So now, how do you represent this? What do you mean by roster or tabular form? When you actually enlist the elements of a set, roster or tabular form, when you actually enlist the elements of the set, for example, if I say the set A is equal to, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what are you doing? You are listing all the elements of the set, right? This becomes
Yes, sir.
your roster form. If the set is very big, then it becomes very difficult actually to write all the elements of the set, especially in infinite sets. Okay, for finite sets, still we can write, but for very big sets or for infinite sets, it becomes difficult for us to write in tabular form. Okay, because you will be finishing all your life writing all the elements of the set. That is why we use the next form, which is called the set builder form. Okay, for example, look at the above set A. If you want to represent this in set builder form, what you do? You first define a variable x. Understood? In the set. Okay, these are very basics. You have already done this in class 8. I'm simply repeating all this. What you do is you define a variable x within the set. Okay, and you give a colon. Colon means such that. Understood?
Such that.
Colon means such
Mm.
that. Sometimes you also give a vertical line to denote such that. Okay, so either you give a colon or you give a vertical line. So x, you define a variable x inside the set, and you say that x lies between 1 and 5, right? X lies between
Yes,
1
sir.
and 5. And not only that, but what kind of a variable is x?
Belongs
X
to.
is a natural number.
X belongs to n.
Okay, so you have defined a variable x, and you have mentioned that x lies between 1 and 5, and you said that x is a natural number, because the definition changes, because this is the main thing. X belongs to n. This is the main thing. Because if you are saying x belongs to, say, whole numbers, then what happens? The set remains the same. But if you are saying x belongs to the set of real numbers, then this set becomes an infinite set. Then these two sets will not be the same. Understood? If I say this as a real number, then this does not, these two are not equal. You know why?
Yes, sir.
Why? Tell me. If I say X belongs to R, then what is wrong?
It will. It means all the numbers between 1 to 5. It may be in
It may be
fraction
decimal, it may
points
be
and all.
fractions, it may be rational numbers, it may be irrational numbers. That is why. Yes,
Yes, sir.
you're right. So this is the two methods of representation. I will not go much into the method of representation. I will simply tell you the definitions. First definition is finite and infinite sets. Okay. What is a finite set? The elements of the set which you can count. Okay. Even if
Yes,
even
sir.
if it's 10,000 elements, still you are able to count, right? And infinite sets, the one which you're not able to count. Like say here, same set
Hmm.
here
In
above,
that case.
x such that if I say 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5, x belongs to R. This becomes an infinite set because the definition of x is real numbers. It includes everything between 1 and 5. All the rational numbers, all the irrational numbers, which you cannot actually count. Okay. So this is the definition of finite and infinite sets. Next, empty or null set. Null or empty set. Okay, it is a set in which no element is there. Okay. A set which does not contain any element is called an empty or null set. It is denoted by either this sign or it is denoted by this sign also. Okay. Normally we'll use this sign. Okay. Next is empty or null set. This is what can be the examples of empty or null set. Suppose I define a set A is equal to, let me tell you in set builder form. Can you tell me whether this is an infinite or finite set? X such that x square plus 1 is equal to 0. X belongs to R. Can you tell me whether this is finite set, infinite set, null set, empty set? What kind of a set is it?
Uh, Sir, it is null.
Why?
Whatever the x may be, it is 0, it says.
See, this set means this set is actually the set of all solutions or roots of the equation. In fact, real solutions. Real solutions of the equation x square plus 1 is equal to 0. Now, can you tell me x square plus 1 is equal to 0? Will it give you any real roots, this equation? Because the definition of x is real numbers, right? But x square plus 1,
Yes, sir.
will it give you any real root?
Mm,
X square plus 1 is equal to 0. Will it give you any real root? X
no,
square is
sir.
equal to minus 1. X is equal to root minus 1. Is it real? It is complex, right? So therefore, my definition
Yes, sir.
here, x belongs to R, this definition makes it a null set because this solution, this equation does not have any solution in real numbers. It may have solution in complex numbers, but it does not have any solution in real numbers. So that means this is an empty set. Clear? Next definition is singleton
Mm.
set. Singleton, doubleton, tripleton sets. Now, what do you mean by singleton, doubleton, tripleton sets? A set which contains only one element is called a singleton set. A set which contains two elements is called a doubleton set. A set which contains three elements is called a tripleton sets. Very important definition. Next one, equal sets. When are two sets said to be equal? Two sets are said to be equal if they have the same elements. Two sets having two sets A and B, say two sets A and B having the same elements. Now, what do you mean by same elements? What do you mean by same elements?
Uh, Same elements. They
See,
comprise of that same number of elements, or
example, suppose I take the set A as A, B, C, and I take the set B as A, C, A, B, B, A, C. Are these two sets equal?
yes, sir.
Why?
Because the elements in A all are there in B. That's why.
All the elements of A are in B and all the elements of B are in A. We'll come to that definition a little later. Okay. But what you see is that here all the elements of A, they are repeated in B, but still they are in B. So that means we write
Yes, sir.
A is equal to B. Although the number of elements are different. See, in A we have 3 elements. In B we have
Yes,
7
sir.
elements. The elements are number of elements are different, but still they are equal. Okay. Next is cardinality or cardinal number of a set.
Yes, sir.
Cardinality or cardinal number of a set. Now, what do you mean by cardinality or cardinal number of a set? The number of elements in a set is called the cardinality or the cardinal number of a set. For example, if you have A is equal to A, B, C, what is the cardinality here? What is the cardinality of the set A? It is denoted by N, and in brackets you have A. Cardinality of A is said to be 3 because there are 3 elements. Okay. Suppose you have the
3.
set B as
Yes,
above.
sir.
This set we have. What is the cardinality of B? Cardinality of B is 7 because you count the number of elements to be 7. Okay. This is what is meant by
7.
cardinality. Next is equivalent sets. Two sets having the same cardinality are called equivalent sets. Okay. For example, if I have set A is equal to 1, 2, 3, and if I have set B is equal to A, B, C. If you see, cardinality of A is 3 and cardinality of B is also 3, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
therefore, we say A is equivalent to B, or we also say B is equivalent to A. Same thing. A is equivalent to B, and we represent this by A, and you give this two-sided arrow, two-headed arrow. Okay. A is equivalent to B. Okay. So that is what is meant by equivalent sets. Next, we come to overlapping sets. Now, what do you mean by overlapping sets? Two sets having at least one element is common is called an overlapping set. Okay. For example, if I have the set A is equal to A, B, C, and 1, and if I have set B as 1, C, D. If you see these two sets, they have this element 1 in common, right? So at least one element is common between the two. Therefore, A and B are called are overlapping sets. Understood? If they are
Yes,
overlapping,
sir.
they must have at least one element in common. At least one. Okay. And what if nothing is common between the sets? Then they are called disjoint sets. Okay. Suppose A is equal to ABC and B is equal to 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say. If you see A and B have nothing in common, then they are
Yes,
called
sir.
disjoint sets. A and B are
Yes,
called
sir.
disjoint sets. You already know union and intersection, right?
Yes, sir.
Note that if A and B are disjoint, if A and B are disjoint sets, then the intersection must be a null set. That is, A intersection B must be a null set. Okay, so that is what is meant by disjoint sets. Next is some standard sets. You need to remember these notations, standard sets. What are the standard sets? The first standard set is a set of natural numbers. Okay, set of natural numbers, it is denoted by this symbol. Okay, and this is an infinite set. So whenever I write n in this manner, you will understand that I am talking about the set of natural numbers. Clear?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, and so on, it continues till infinity. Next is the set of um, rational numbers. The set of rational numbers is denoted by this symbol, q. Okay. So whenever I'm writing q in this manner, you will understand that I'm talking about rational numbers. Okay. The next is the set of integers. You know what are integers? The set of integers is denoted by the symbol z. You know what are integers? We start with minus
Yes, sir.
infinity,
All
minus 3,
minus
continue
infinity to
0,
all
1,
the
2, 3, and so on. This is the set of
yes, sir.
integers. The set of integers. Whenever I write z in this manner, you will understand that I'm talking about the set of integers. Okay. And you also have whole numbers, which you don't require. We don't write whole number is actually not a standard notation. Normally for whole numbers, we write whole numbers is the set. Whole numbers is the set natural number, the set of natural numbers union the singleton set 0. Understood? This is how we represent whole numbers. Clear? We don't have a separate representation, although in the book it is given W, but we don't have a separate representation for whole numbers. But if W, you must understand that this is the set of whole numbers. This is not a, this notation here, W is not a standard notation in mathematics. Clear? We normally write
Yes. Okay, sir.
for whole numbers, we write it in this manner. Natural numbers union 0. So it's, you must know that natural, whatever natural numbers are there, and along with that you have a 0, that becomes your whole numbers. Okay. Next very important concept, a new concept which you have not done, is intervals. What do you mean by intervals? Now see, you have various kind of intervals. First interval is this AB. Now what do you mean by this interval? What do you mean by this notation? Very, very important notation you must understand. This is actually an infinite set. And what does this set represent? It represents all the numbers between A and B, but not inclusive of A and B. You understood?
Yes,
X
sir.
such that A less than X less than B, X belongs to R. Understood? If you are representing this on the number line, then what will this set look like? You have inequalities in class 10, you have done number line. This is your 0.
Yes, sir.
And say this is your point A somewhere. The lower number, see here, is written on the left side. The higher number here is written on the right side. Understood? If I'm talking about
Yes, sir.
this set, then what numbers I mean? I mean all the numbers not including A, not including B. All the numbers that lie between A and B. All the real numbers. Real numbers only. No natural numbers. No rational numbers. Only real numbers. Okay, so this set is an infinite set. Understood?
Hmm.
So if I say uh, this 2, 3, this set, what do you mean? What I mean is that all the real numbers between 2 and 3,
2 and 3.
but not inclusive of 2 and 3. Understood? They will not
Exclusive.
include 2 and 3. That means 2 does not belong to this set. Understood? 3 does
Yes,
not
sir.
belong to this set. But yes,
Yes, sir.
2.9 belongs to this set. Clear? You can say
Yes, sir.
2.99999 and so on. You continue. This belongs to this set, but not 2 or not 3. It will not touch 2. Clear? Be very clear with intervals
Yes,
because
sir.
we will be using intervals later on. Any
Okay, sir.
next? Next interval is this. If you have understood this interval, this should not be a problem. If you have understood the first interval, this should not be a problem. This interval is nothing but same interval except that it will touch A and B both,
Inclusive of A and B.
inclusive of A and B. And remember always to write the lower number first and then the higher number. Always. Okay, whenever you are writing this inequality. So the lower number here, if you're writing this interval, the lower number should come here and the higher number should come later. Okay. So if I represent this on the number line, how will I represent this? I have my A here. I have my 0 here. I have my B here. So what I'll do is I'll draw a vertical line because it is touching A. And I'll draw a vertical line here also above B because it is touching. And I will join these two. So therefore, all the numbers, all the real numbers between A and B are there. So here what happens? Consider this interval again 2 3 as I told you earlier, but with this box bracket 2 3. Then I can say here 2 belongs to 2 3 because 2 is included, and also 3 belongs to 2
3.
3. Also you can say 2.9 belongs to 2 3. Okay, so all numbers inclusive of 2 and 3, everything belongs to this interval. Okay, again this is an infinite set. Okay, this is called an open interval. Okay, why is it open? Because it has no boundaries. It is not touching A and B. It has no definite boundaries. That is why it is called open interval. This is called a closed interval. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Again, we come to the concept of half open and half closed. Okay, let's see. This is another interval. A, B starts with a box bracket but ends with a parenthesis. This set is what? This set is x such that, see that x is touching A. So we give an equality sign here.
A will be inclusive and B will not be
Inclusive.
taken.
So that means if I'm talking about this interval here, 2 3 again, let's see, as I was saying, 2 3 interval, this interval. So here 2 will belong to this, right? But 3 will
Not
not
3.
belong to this interval. 2.9 can belong to this set. 2.5 can belong to this set. Okay. So that is what it means. These are called half open intervals. Okay. You don't need to know half open and half closed, but just remember open and close you need to remember. Okay. And similarly, you can have another one. You can have this way also. Okay. In this case, what is this set? Again, an infinite set. X such that
Only B will be inclusive.
only B will be included. Okay. So this is your this interval. Again, you have other intervals also. Like you can have an interval like this, A, comma infinity. Okay. You can have an interval like this. What does it mean? It means that x such that x greater than A, x belongs to R. Understood? That means
Yes,
whatever
sir.
real number greater than A, and it will continue indefinitely. Understood? This is another interval. Now remember, when intervals, when you're talking about infinity, okay, whether you give this bracket here or whether you give this bracket here, it does not actually matter. Why doesn't it matter? Can you tell me why doesn't it
It's
matter?
already infinity.
Because it is infinity, it will actually continue.
Yes,
Whether you
sir.
give a box bracket
It's
or whether you give
already.
a parent, it's all the same. Okay, so this is infinity. Another interval can be your minus infinity b. This can be another interval. And what does this mean? X such that x less than b. So all the numbers that are less than b are included in this interval. Okay, understood? All the real numbers that are less than b will be included in this interval. And the third kind of interval is minus infinity, minus infinity. Sorry, plus infinity. What is this set? Can you tell me what this set is?
I think null.
Not why null? Minus infinity to plus infinity. Infinite set. Why null set?
Oh no, sorry,
This
sir.
is the
Sorry.
set of real numbers. From minus infinity, it includes everything. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that is what you need to know for intervals. Be thorough with these intervals because we'll be using the concept of intervals later on also. Okay. Let us now come to a very important concept which is called subsets. Okay. Subsets. What is a
Yes, sir.
subset? If all the elements of of a set A are in, since you are old enough, you like a girl and you know that you like her, she also know that you like her. Why do you have to pronounce it? But you do, right? Why do you
Yes, sir.
pronounce it? To get the feel, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
that is the question of feel here. Just as it is very different. You like a girl before marriage, fine. You like a girl before marriage, but after you get married, when you
Yes, sir.
when you get into a technicalities, when you're actually living with her for 24 hours, things become different, right? Then you actually get to
Yes, sir.
know the depth of what things mean, what love actually means. So here also, if it is a null set, it although it looks very obvious that a null set is a subset of every set, but when actually you delve into the mathematics of it, then you will understand what it actually means. So that is why it has to be pronounced.